If you're over 60, have you ever noticed that your body is not as toned as before? Your limbs are starting to become softer and weaker, and you feel tired even when you lift light objects? And every time you fall, it takes much longer to recover than when you were younger? If you're nodding, you're not alone. This is a condition that many older people are silently facing, losing muscle as they age. But the important thing is, losing muscle not only makes us weaker but also slows down our metabolism, reduces our immunity, makes us more likely to fall, and makes it difficult to recover from illness. The good news is, you don't need to go to the gym. You don't need to buy expensive milk or fancy supplements. Just eat the right 7 cheap, easy-to-find foods that science has proven can help older people gain muscle naturally and quickly. And when you supplement enough protein, vitamins, and minerals properly from these foods, you will see. Walk more steadily. Sit down and stand up easier. And especially, feel full of energy even at the age of that Thap coli high. So what are the 7 cheap foods that help the elderly gain muscle quickly, stay healthy for a long time without spending much money? Let's explore right away. You will be surprised because it may already be available in your kitchen. I'm Dr. Evan Bonehart, a healthcare specialist for the elderly focusing on bones, joints, and muscles. Welcome to Bones Health Seniors, a channel where we share knowledge, experience, and practical advice to help you better care for your elderly loved ones. Let's start with a food that's probably already in your fridge: eggs. Now, if you've ever been told to avoid eggs because of cholesterol, I want you to forget that for a moment. Because science has changed. We now know that the cholesterol in eggs doesn't raise your blood cholesterol the way people used to think. In fact, eggs are one of the most perfect muscle-building foods out there, especially for older adults. Why? Because eggs are packed with high-quality protein, about 6 grams per egg, and they're rich in leucine. Leucine is an amino acid that plays a key role in turning on your body's muscle-building switch. And that's important because after 60, your body doesn't respond to protein the same way it used to. It takes more effort to build the same muscle. So giving it the right kind of protein, like the kind found in eggs, can make a world of difference. And don't skip the yolk. That's where the vitamins D, B12, and choline live, all crucial for muscle and nerve function. I've spoken to people in their 70s who added just 1 or 2 eggs to breakfast each day, scrambled, poached, or hard-boiled, and noticed more stability when walking and less fatigue by afternoon. Plus, eggs are incredibly affordable. You can get a dozen for just a couple of dollars. That's a week's worth of muscle-building meals for the price of a cup of coffee. Now let's move on to something you might not have expected: cottage cheese. I know, cottage cheese isn't exactly glamorous, but it's one of the most underrated foods out there when it comes to building and preserving muscle, especially as we age. Cottage cheese is rich in casein protein, a slow-digesting protein that provides your muscles with a steady stream of amino acids. That means if you eat it at night, say, a small bowl before bed, it can actually help support muscle repair and growth while you sleep. That's right. You can build muscle in your sleep as long as you've fed your body the right tools beforehand. It's also high in calcium and B vitamins, which support bone strength and help your body use energy more efficiently. And just like eggs, it's affordable. A tub of cottage cheese can give you several servings of high-protein, muscle-supporting fuel without breaking the bank. Now, some folks say they don't like the texture. I get it. But you can blend it into smoothies, mix it with fruit, or add herbs and garlic for a savory dip. I knew one woman, 68, who started mixing a half cup of cottage cheese with pineapple after dinner. She swore it helped her wake up with less soreness in her hips and back. And let me tell you, she was back to gardening without groaning in the mornings. Speaking of pantry staples, let's talk about something plant-based, cheap, and surprisingly powerful: lentils. Lentils are a muscle-building secret weapon that most people overlook. They're packed with protein, fiber, iron, and magnesium, all of which are essential for energy, recovery, and maintaining muscle mass. What makes lentils special is their accessibility. They're dry, they last forever, and you can cook a big batch for just a few dollars. Half a cup of cooked lentils gives you about 9 grams of protein, plus slow-burning carbs that help fuel your muscles and keep your blood sugar stable. They're especially helpful if you're trying to eat a little less meat or if you're on a tight budget. I once met a retired couple, both in their 70s, who started doing a meatless Monday with lentil soup. After 2 months, he said his legs felt steadier going upstairs, and she said her blood pressure came down too. That's the thing about these simple foods: they don't just support your muscles. They support your whole system. And here's something important I want to highlight. When you're over 60, you can't afford to eat low-protein meals. You need consistent high-quality protein sources throughout the day to preserve what muscle you have and start building more. This isn't about bulking up like a bodybuilder. It's about having the strength to get out of bed, carry your groceries, pick up your grandkids, and walk without fear of falling. Muscle is mobility. It's independence. And it's life. So, if any of this is resonating with you, if you've been feeling weaker lately, or tired in your arms and legs even without doing much, don't brush it off. Your body is trying to tell you something. It's asking for support. And you don't have to start big. You don't have to make dramatic changes. You just have to start small with food. Eggs in the morning. Cottage cheese at night. Lentils once or twice a week. These are simple changes, but they stack up. They work. They create strength from the inside out. So what do you think so far? Have you tried any of these? Have you noticed a difference in your energy or strength after changing what you eat? I'd love to hear your experience. Leave a comment below and share your story. You never know who you might help just by speaking up. And now that we've talked about some everyday staples, let's move on to something you might already have in your freezer and how it can help you build muscle without costing you a fortune. Now, we just talked about eggs, cottage cheese, and lentils, 3 simple, affordable foods that are surprisingly powerful when it comes to building muscle. But we're not stopping there. Because if you've got a freezer, and I bet you do, you might already be storing our next muscle-boosting superstar. Let's talk about frozen peas. I know, peas don't sound exciting. They're not trendy. You don't see Instagram chefs raving about them. But don't underestimate these little green gems. Frozen peas are rich in plant-based protein, fiber, and essential nutrients like vitamin K, magnesium, and even some iron. They also contain compounds that reduce inflammation, something that's especially important for aging muscles and joints. And here's the kicker. Peas contain a surprising amount of leucine, that same muscle-building amino acid I mentioned with eggs. That means peas don't just fill you up. They actually help trigger your body to repair and grow muscle tissue. Plus, they're incredibly easy. Just grab a handful from the freezer, steam them, toss them into soups, casseroles, or even blend them into a creamy green dip. You don't need to be a chef. You just need to remember that every small addition to your plate matters. I knew a retired nurse who used to say, "If it's green and easy, it's going in my dinner." She wasn't a health nut, but she had strong legs and clear energy in her 70s. And she swore by frozen peas in just about everything. So if you're looking for something affordable, low effort, and surprisingly effective, don't sleep on the peas. Now let's switch gears and talk about something meaty, but not the expensive steaks or tricky cuts. I'm talking about something humble, flavorful, and budget-friendly: canned tuna. You might already have some in your pantry. And if you do, that's good news. Because canned tuna is one of the cheapest, most convenient sources of lean protein you can find. It's high in muscle-building amino acids, low in fat, and packed with omega-3 fatty acids, which help reduce inflammation and support joint health so you can stay active without the soreness. Omega-3s are critical for seniors, not just for heart and brain health, but for preserving muscle. They've even been shown in studies to improve the effectiveness of resistance training in older adults. That means if you're eating tuna and doing light exercise, your body is more likely to respond by building strength and maintaining lean mass. And tuna is so versatile. Mix it with a little olive oil and lemon. Throw it into a salad. Scoop it onto whole grain toast. You've got a complete, muscle-friendly meal in 5 minutes or less. Now, speaking of whole-body nourishment, let's talk about a food that's been around forever, but somehow keeps getting overlooked in today's fast-paced diet culture: rolled oats. Yes, oatmeal. This simple pantry staple does more than keep you regular. It's actually one of the best muscle-supporting grains out there. Here's why. Oats are rich in complex carbs, which provide your muscles with the steady energy they need to grow and recover. Without enough carbs, your body can't use protein efficiently, and that means you'll struggle to make the most of all the good foods you're eating. Oats also contain iron and magnesium, which support blood flow and muscle contractions. And while they're not high in protein by themselves, they pair beautifully with high-protein add-ins like cottage cheese, protein powder, or even a scrambled egg on the side. I knew a woman in her late 60s who swore by her morning oatmeal. She made it with almond milk, added a scoop of peanut butter and a sprinkle of chia seeds. She said it gave her the stamina to get through her water aerobics class without feeling drained halfway through. And that's exactly the point. Muscle isn't built from protein alone. It needs fuel too. And oats are one of the best, cheapest fuels you can buy. Now let's pause for just a second and talk about consistency. Because this is where most people fall short, not from lack of willpower, but from lack of routine. When you're over 60, your body needs regular protein intake throughout the day. Not just a big dinner. Not just a post-workout shake. You need a steady stream of nutrients to maintain and build muscle. That's how you stop the slow decline that so many seniors experience when they lose strength, mobility, and confidence in their body. And the truth is, muscle loss is sneaky. You might not notice it all at once. But then you trip over the curb, or you struggle to carry the laundry upstairs, or you find yourself too tired to stand at the stove for long. That's not weakness. That's biology. And you can do something about it. Every egg you eat, every bite of lentils, every scoop of cottage cheese, every forkful of oats or peas or tuna, it all adds up. It all tells your body, I'm not giving up. I'm still building. I'm still moving forward. And if you've ever worried that it's too late, I want you to let that go. I met a man who started this journey at 80. Yes, 80. He started eating more protein, walking 3 times a week, and doing lightweight training. Within months, his posture improved. He said, I don't feel old when I'm eating right. I feel ready. And you can feel that way too. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Which of these foods do you already eat? Which ones are you curious to try? Do you have a favorite way to make tuna or oatmeal more exciting? Share it in the comments. Your tips could help someone else take the first step. And if you've ever been concerned about your health or the health of someone you love, drop a heart below. Let's support each other. Because food isn't just about nutrients, it's about connection. About showing up for ourselves and the people we care about. Now, we've got one more powerful food to talk about. It's affordable, it's familiar, and it's packed with exactly the kind of protein that helps older adults build strength quickly and stay strong longer. We've talked about some powerful, simple foods: eggs, lentils, cottage cheese, peas, tuna, oats, all humble ingredients that can help you rebuild strength, energy, and confidence. And now, let's bring it home with one final food that ties everything together. A classic. A favorite. One that may already be in your fridge today. Let's talk about chicken thighs. Now, I know, everyone talks about chicken breast as the healthy part of the bird. But here's the thing: chicken thighs, especially when you leave the skin on and cook them properly, are not only more affordable, they're also more satisfying and just as effective when it comes to building muscle. Chicken thighs contain high-quality complete protein, meaning they deliver all the amino acids your body needs to repair and grow muscle tissue. They're rich in iron, zinc, and B vitamins, especially B6 and niacin, which support energy metabolism and help your body process that protein into usable strength. And if you're someone who finds lean chicken breast a little dry or boring, you'll be happy to know chicken thighs are naturally more flavorful and forgiving in the kitchen. You can bake them, pan-sear them, slow cook them, or throw them in an air fryer and have a protein-rich meal that doesn't feel like a chore. One gentleman I worked with, Tom, 71, told me he used to dread mealtime. Everything healthy tasted like cardboard, he said. But when he started using simple spice rubs on skin-on chicken thighs, garlic, paprika, rosemary, he actually looked forward to dinner. And within weeks of eating more protein, he said getting out of his recliner felt easier. He even started walking to the park again, something he hadn't done in years. That's the kind of shift we're aiming for here. Not just what's on the plate, but how it changes your day-to-day life. Because here's the truth. Muscle is the key to aging well. Muscle supports balance. Muscle helps you stand taller. Muscle burns more calories at rest. Muscle makes you feel grounded and alive and in control of your body. And yet, as we age, most people unknowingly lose it little by little, year after year. But you don't have to be most people. You can choose to rebuild, to nourish, to take your body seriously and give it the fuel it's been waiting for. Let's pause for a second and take stock of what we've covered. We've talked about eggs, rich in leucine and vitamins, perfect for breakfast. Cottage cheese, with slow-digesting casein to support muscle repair at night. Lentils, plant-based and packed with fiber and iron. Peas, a freezer staple with a surprise punch of protein. Tuna, high in omega-3s to reduce inflammation and support strength. Rolled oats, a carbohydrate that fuels your muscle recovery. And now, chicken thighs, a juicy, satisfying, protein-rich powerhouse. All of them affordable. All of them accessible. All of them backed by science to help older adults build and maintain muscle fast. But none of this matters unless you start. And I don't mean changing everything overnight. You don't need to throw out half your pantry or learn how to cook like a chef. Just start where you are with what you have. Maybe you make oatmeal tomorrow morning instead of toast. Maybe you bake some chicken thighs this weekend instead of picking up takeout. Maybe you finally try that can of tuna that's been sitting in your cupboard. It doesn't have to be big. It just has to be real. Real choices. Real food. Real results. And remember, your body isn't done yet. Your muscles aren't gone. They're just waiting. Waiting for you to give them a reason to come back. And if you're still with me, I know one thing for sure: you're ready. You're curious. You care about your health, your energy, your independence. And you deserve to feel strong again. So here's what I want to leave you with. First, muscle is not just for the young. Muscle is for you. For today. For tomorrow. For every trip you still want to take, every garden you want to tend, every hug you want to give without worrying about your joints or your balance. Second, food is your ally. It's not about dieting or restriction. It's about nourishment. It's about putting something on your plate that says, I care about me. And third, you are not alone. If you've ever felt discouraged, tired, or like your body is slowing down more than you'd like, drop a comment. Share your story. Let this be a place where we lift each other up. If you found this video helpful, hit that like button. It helps more people find this message. And if you want more practical, science-backed tips to boost your strength, energy, and confidence after 60, don't forget to subscribe. In fact, in the next video, I'm going to reveal one of the worst mistakes people make every morning. What do you think it is? Comment your guess and make sure to click the bell so you don't miss it. And finally, share this video with someone you care about. A friend, a spouse, a sibling. Someone you want to see stay strong, independent, and full of